So let's talk about the topic that seems to be the most nerve-wracking topic of them all: pricing your products. Let's talk about pricing like a god. See, how do you decide your pricing? This is the million-dollar question everyone asks me. See, you now have a digital product you can start selling at any time, but setting the right price could become a stressful struggle. I would know. I too had to start somewhere. So let me unveil the curtain for you. I'll be showing you the 3 most straightforward pricing strategies that have worked well for me. And of course, I will also guide you on how much you should be charging for your new product. So let's get started. First, you need to understand something that no one has ever told you before. Pricing is about 2 things: your mindset and the value that you are providing to the buyer. To illustrate this, let me tell you a story about myself. When I launched my first guide, I thought about selling it at $5, but a friend asked me, "Are you solving a painful problem?" "Yes," I replied. "Charge more then." I didn't know it back then, but those 3 words changed my life. That's when I decided to price my guide at $49 and release it at an introductory price of $27 for a limited time. I made over $4,000 in sales on my first try. Let me give you more context. I had a really small audience back then, and my English was not as good as it is right now. I actually wrote that guide in Spanish and used Google Translate to get the English right before posting it and before selling it. Think about that. So back to the story. That's around 140 sales if you are counting. If I had sold it at $5, I would have only made $700. Sad, isn't it? Or I would have needed at least 800 sales to reach the 4K mark. See, when you believe in your product, you don't mind pricing it higher than what you've been told before. Pricing is all in your mind. I was thinking about selling this guide for a very, very small amount, but those 3 words, let's go back, charge more than, persuaded me to charge $27 for a limited time and then increase the price to $49. So here's $4,000 in sales during the time I promoted that ebook, plus all the extra income I made throughout the years that I've had that product online. Again, when you believe in your product and you know the value that you are providing, you don't mind pricing it higher than what you've been told before. So let's talk about the 3 simple strategies I use to price my guides and my information products and my video courses and everything I create for my audience. Well, the first one is the 3-tier packaging extravaganza, which I named with the name extravaganza because I just like that word. That said, let's say that you decided on writing a guide, a short ebook, let's say. You could package it with more options. You could sell the guide for $27. You could sell the guide plus video content for $67. And you can sell the guide plus video content plus an additional add-on or add-ons for $97. So the more stuff you're providing and you're giving to your buyer, the higher the cost. That said, I'm going to reveal a little secret I've realized throughout the years. Video content feels more valuable. Now, this doesn't mean that video content is more valuable. What I'm saying is that it feels like that, especially if it's well produced and well edited. People love to feel like the creator of the course, of the video course, actually spent time thinking through what he was talking about during the course and spent time editing the course to remove all the nonsense and all the weird ums and all the noise from the video content. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why it feels more valuable. That said, your job, if you choose the 3-tier packaging extravaganza, is to think about the additional content you can include inside your offer. So let me give you a visual example of how the 3-tier packaging looks like. I have the Crash Course Copywriting Guide for $23, as you can see in the right. And if you purchase that option, you'll only get the guide. Now, take a look at the complete digital edition in the middle. I sell it for $47 or $33 if I'm giving it away at a discount. And it includes 2 extra guides, one to create sales pages and one about market research. And finally, I have the Crash Course Copywriting Advanced Strategy Edition that includes everything I just mentioned plus a 60-minute one-on-one private consultation. Now, what do I want to achieve with this 3-tier packaging strategy? I literally want them to buy the one in the middle. And you might say, like, of course, that's why it's in the middle. No, that's not why. Okay? The reason why people purchase the one in the middle is because, as you can see here, the one in the middle gets you more quality information for only $10 extra when you compare it with the original offer, which only gets you the guide. But when you compare the one in the middle with the one in the left, the $273, $33 feels like way less money than what it actually is. So it feels like you're stealing the creator's money. This 3-tier packaging strategy works very well. And I highly advise you to at least try it once just to see how it works for you. And do the math. Do the math. If you get 10 sales, you get an extra $100 if people purchase the one in the middle. Okay? Do the math and you'll love it. Let's talk about the strategy number 2, the upsell hack. You decided on recording a video training, so you could price it as follows. The video for only $97 and the video plus a one-time offer for $139. This one-time offer is what people usually call an upsell or a sales bump, but it all depends on the context. Now, your job is to choose the content that you'll include in the one-time offer option. And to make this a little bit more easy to digest, let me show you an example. So for example, when you purchase this course, you could see that you could get the complete digital edition for $100. You got the Conquering Information product. You got the Crash Course on Gumroad. You got the Only Market Research methodology. And you got the Crafting Landing Pages guide. And as you can see down below, you have the one-time offer for an extra $25. So you could literally add the Crash Course Copywriting for only $25 instead of the regular price of $47. So when you see this one-time offer, you actually get a little sense of fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out on this one-time offer opportunity, meaning that if you don't choose option number 2, you will miss out on saving a couple of bucks just because you didn't want to invest an extra $25. So here's the reason why this works. When you are already investing money on something, adding a little extra money to that something doesn't feel as that much money. So an extra $25 here doesn't feel that much because you are already investing $100. So what difference will it make to add an extra $25 to your credit card? You won't even feel it. This is one of the reasons why I like using the upsell hack. It's just so powerful. So a tip to make this work, just make sure that the one-time offer doesn't add too much burden into the person's credit card. As you can see here, I'm only adding an extra $25 to the order. So if you're selling something for $30, you could add a one-time offer for $5, $10, or $15. If you're selling something for $50, you can add something for $10, $20, or even $25. If you're selling something at $100, you can add something for about $25, $27, $30, or $37 more. What you need to take into consideration is the contrast between the original offer and the one-time offer. That said, if you don't want to build more content for your course or for your information product or for your ebook or for whatever you're selling, just stick to the basic, a one-time payment. Just sell your product at a one fixed price to avoid overcomplicating the process. I highly advise you to launch your first product like this. Why do you ask? Well, it's so much simpler. The purpose of the first product is to start feeling comfortable with sales and begin to create your personal system of creating digital products. So if you feel you're overcomplicating with the 2 previous strategies that I just gave you, the one-time payment strategy is more than enough. Now, let's talk about the price. If you're going to price anything for a very low price, just keep it like this, $5, $9, $17, $19, $25. up to $97. That's okay. And as you can see, I'm not using round numbers. And here's the reason. When you see $100, it feels so much more expensive than $97. Simple math. A price with 2 digits feels so much more accessible than a price with 3 digits. Now, I'm talking about the $97 product, but the same thing happens with the $30 product. $29 doesn't feel as expensive as $30, but it's just $1 less. That said, experiment with your pricing. Don't stick to only the pricing that I just showed you. This is just merely a guide for you to avoid overcomplicating, okay? Now, if you're going to price your courses for a higher price, you could start with $197, $247, $349, $397, or $997. Again, it feels so much more accessible for people's wallets when you're not charging $1,000 and instead you're charging $997. It just feels so much different. It works very well, but again, try out different things. Because at the end, the decision is yours and nobody can put a price to your products, only you. All that said, remember that the most important thing you can ever achieve with your buyers is building legitimate, long-lasting trust. In simple English, what I'm trying to say is don't sell a $97 guide that only has 5 pages. It just doesn't feel as valuable unless you're in one of those really tiny exceptions in which, well, everything is overpriced. So hopefully you get the point of what I'm trying to say. So you need to overpromise and you need to over-deliver. And this is not about page count that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the value that you are providing to your buyer. What you create must deliver on your promises. So if you're telling someone that you're going to teach them, for example, how to create a website from A to C, don't jump over J. Please include J too. So thank you so much and see you in the next video.